Here we are back in Wigan, about to meet up with Mike Grundy and find out what he's been up to since we last spoke to him after his UFC debut. Right, Mike, a couple months since the fight, how are you feeling?
Feeling great, you know. I mean, the attention from Wiganers and Wigan fans has been great, you know. A lot of people messaging me on Instagram and social media saying how well it was. I've been walking around town and stuff, you know, people asking for pictures and stuff. So, like I said, as a fighter, and the fans have been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a big fight fan as well, and I always, like probably so many other people as well, you kind of imagine what it's going to be like to be there, and especially the bit where you do the weigh-ins, ceremonial weigh-ins, and you're there in front of all them people. How did that feel?
Yeah, when the ceremonial weigh-ins, mostly walking out there, you know, that was the first time I felt, you know, the fans and the support, and it picked me up. It gave me a lot of energy really for the fight. So, you know, coming out there, the fans were fantastic again, and I didn't want to get off that stage. When I got on stage, you know, you probably, if you watch the video back, you probably see me that I stand on stage a little bit longer and don't want to get off. So, yeah. Again, you know, getting a lot of support from the fans. It was surreal.
It looked amazing. It looked amazing. You're out there, and then you could see the reaction that you got from the crowd in front of you. You was introduced, and you're out there, and it just looked like the dream scenario, and it was, because obviously then you went into the fight, and you've had many fights before. You fought in different organisations, but that minute you're there, you walk out, and you're heading towards that UFC octagon, knowing this is your UFC debut. How did that feel?
Again, amazing, but I didn't put too much pressure on myself. You know, obviously it was the pinnacle of MMA, and it was the place where I wanted to be for so long. After so many setbacks in the past, it was like, it was here. Do you know what I mean? I was warming up in the back, and I was getting ready to come out. And you know, I got to the edge, and just before my music come on, but I stayed as relaxed as I possibly could, and I felt that I showed that in the fight. But you know, inside I was really excited. But you know, I got out there and I got the job done. I tried to make it feel like it wasn't any different to any other fight. That was my plan, really. You know, try and keep it as real as possible.
One thing that I've got to ask you though is, like, your background's wrestling, right? So you get in there, you go against the opponent. I'm watching it. I hear Dan Hardy, the commentator, and other people talk about it as well. They're like, Grundy's going to be looking for the takedown. He's going to try and take this guy down. He's very dominant on the floor. But you didn't. You seemed to stand with him. You seemed to use your hands, your movements, and whatnot. Was that part of the game plan, or?
The game plan would have been how I always finish fights, which is usually on the ground. But, you know, I'll start from 2 weeks before the fight. 2 weeks before the fight, unfortunately, I tore my hamstring, which is quite a bad tear, which, you know, I went into physio and had physio every single day. When I first tore it, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be able to fight. But then I come back, my coach was really positive about it. He told me exactly what I need to do. I got back in training that night, and I just stood on the bag still and punched the bag. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any movements whatsoever. So for about a week, I didn't do any movement stuff. I just stood, hit the pads on the spot, and then after that week, I did probably one sparring session, and then I went to the fight. I got in the back. I started warming up. I knew my hamstring wasn't 100%. It had healed a lot because the physio had been working on it every single day. But I got in the back and I started warming up, and my coach told me to do some leg attacks. I started that, which is how I did my hamstring originally. So I did a leg attack, and as I put that sprag up, I thought, you know what, this still isn't right. So he said, go on, do another one. And I think he could tell, but I would not say anything because I'm 20-30 minutes away from fight. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to go out and fight. Yeah. So I attacked on my opposite side, which I never usually attack on. So I think he could tell then. Anyway, I knew that it wasn't 100% right, but I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to fucking fight, you know what I mean? I'm going to fight, so it doesn't matter how my hamstring is. I'm not going to turn around to the UFC now 20 minutes before the fight. I can't fight because my hamstring's sore. So I knew I would have to go out there and box, so I'm walking to the octagon, and I thought, you know what, I'm going fighting, doesn't matter, I'm going to go and box. I'm going to have to box a little bit more. And I got a takedown at the end of the first round, that's when I felt my hamstring. If you watch back on the video, I can see it. I've watched it back a couple of times, and it's when I put my sprag up the same way I did it before. So I got that one takedown, but you know, like I said, I knew I had to box after that because it was too sore. I didn't want to risk doing another attack and it fully going, and then I would have been out the fight. So, like I said, I boxed, and you know, fortunately enough, I caught him with a good left hook, and he dropped him.
You know, I don't think a lot of people realise how good of a first fight that was. knowing that you're a wrestler and you've got a wrestling background, and to not actually take it to the floor, obviously, like for the injury that you just said, and to actually stay on your feet and actually box a man and move and then catch him as well, that to me makes it even more impressive. However, there's one thing, Mike, don't get mad about this. I'm going to have to ask you, because one or two people have said it, you look like you might have got caught. Did he catch you? Was it in the post-interview afterwards? I think you said it was a slip, but one or two people were saying, I don't know about that, it looked like you might have caught him with something.
Yeah, there's a little joke going round, because in my interview afterwards, Dan Hardy comes in. Well, my coach congratulated me. I turned round, Dan Hardy was there straight away, do you know what I mean? And he started interviewing me, and he said, take a look up at the screen. How did you feel when you got caught? And I didn't look at the screen, because I was just in my moment, you know what I mean? I was excited, I was happy I won, and I didn't look up at the screen. I watched it back obviously afterwards, and I did get caught. But in the interview, early on in the round, I slipped and I did fall. But he was on about the bit where I got caught. So it looked on the video worse than it felt. Me in the cage didn't feel as bad as it actually looked, but he did obviously wobble me, you can see on the video. But I thought he was on about the slips. Me being stupid, I should have looked up at the cage. So it's looked up at the screen. But yeah, I did message Dan Hardy the day after and say, you know, I'm sorry, I said I slipped, I didn't slip, I got caught, you know what I mean, with a good shot. 2 good shots, uppercut on the right hand, he caught me with. But yeah, he caught me well. But
how do you feel though, for somebody like myself, who's obviously never been in there, don't know what it's like to be in that spotlight and that intensity, the moment where he lands his best shot of the fight, really, because that was the only one that seemed to even do anything to you, really. When he caught you with that, and did you think like, well, that was a big hit, or I felt that aura? How did you feel? How did you just that did not even really register with you, or?
No, it definitely did register, you know, just a little bit dizzy for a couple of seconds. By the time he kind of got to me, and I think he threw a head kick straight away afterwards to try and catch me, but by the time he got to me, you know, I was fine there, I was back round and I was fine, and he threw a head kick which I blocked, but I shook my head in afterwards. But I've had bigger shots in the gym, you know, obviously Darren's always cracking me head, so yeah. he's hit me hard. I've had worse shots in the gym, which is, you know, that's what prepares you for the fight. When you have got good training partners and you are getting, you know, you're having tough sparring rounds, it gets you ready for fights like that. So that was the only shots he kind of caught me with throughout the fight.
You're right. So after that, then everything went back to how it was at the start. You were dominating, you seemed to be cutting off the octagon, your octagon position seemed to be very dominant. Then it happened, you caught him. Did you see it coming? Did you see an opening? Was that part of the game plan thing? Maybe dropping his hand a little bit? How did it lead up to you getting the big shot? What led to the end?
Well, what it was, I caught him with a lot of right hands, or a few right hands, because he kept twitching his back knee, you know, as if he was going to catch me with a knee on my way on my double legs. But, you know, I wasn't going to really double leg with my hamstring. But even so, he kind of just showed me his game plan straight away. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to fake some leg attacks and throw a right hand instead. And he was landing, and that's what cut him open. So leading up to the left hook, he was over blocking with his for the right hand, so he was covering a lot. So I thought I'll switch it to a left hook instead. And the right hands felt much stronger than the left hook, but I suppose, you know, the shots that knock you down is the ones that you don't really see. So when I landed the left hook, it didn't feel strong. I knew I'd landed, but it didn't feel strong. And then, you know, when I'd caught it, he was on the ground, and, you know, I stayed as composed as I possibly could, because I've always visioned when I catch somebody in the octagon, you know, how will I react? Will I rush in? It's a debut, you know, it's easy to rush in. You see a lot of people do it. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to stay composed. I'm not going to rush in too much. You know, there was a couple of errors, you know, my chin was a little bit high, probably my guard was a bit down too much, and I didn't rush in too much where he could grab me and recover. So I picked off my shots, I thought.
Yeah, no, and as well, I think it was a good stoppage by the ref, I really do. Obviously, I'm just a fight fan, I'm just watching it from my point of view, but he's a really good fighter. He was up against, and he was really up against at that point. You were landing clean. He wasn't offering much back your way, and this, that, and the other. And I felt it was really good stoppage, because, you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to see somebody take too much punishment. And I was thinking, if it gone any further, I could only really see him getting more and more hurt, to the point where it would have been complete. You'd have literally, you could have been KO'd. He was very close to literally not getting up after that. So I think
he could have took some more unnecessary shots. When I finished, you know, I thought, because obviously he was still on his feet and stuff, but Nad's a tough guy. He's never ever been finished, you know, and I'm the first person to finish him. But
wow.
I thought maybe they could have given him a little bit longer, but when I watched it back, you know, he did take some shots, and he don't need to take any more unnecessary shots, which, you know, it would have been worse for him. So
amazing weigh-in ceremony, walkout dealt with in there, first win, all boxes ticked, onward and upward. So what's next for you?
There's nothing scheduled just yet. But you know, I'm ready to go now. You know, my hamstring's healed up, my hand's healed up, and I'm good to go. So whatever the UFC come and offer, then I'm ready. You know, I've not heard of any other UK cards, but I don't mind travelling. Obviously, you know, my fights before the UFC was in Japan and Brazil and places like that. So I don't mind travelling. Whatever the UFC bring and whatever Colin, my coach, accepts, I'm good to go.